It's been a struggle for Massmart, today releasing 900 million rand in an interim loss in a very difficult economy. I want to ask Mitchell Slape. He's the outgoing Massmart CEO. He joins us now. Mitchell, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. You came into a very struggling environment back then in 2019. I mean, you've tried some changes. It just didn't take, though. How do you feel when you look back, Mitchell?
Well, first of all, Devin, thanks for having me on the show. As I reflect on the last couple of years, I've got to say, doing a turnaround period is a complicated thing. Trying to do it in the midst of COVID and civil unrest and flooding and the recent inflationary environment that we've all experienced has made it particularly challenging. Massmart is primarily a general merchandise retailer. And what we've seen, particularly as consumers feel stretched in this environment, is that they've navigated towards more essential purchases, food and basic commodities. And so it puts some pressure on general merchandise sales and margin in particular. That being said, I'm particularly confident about the work that we've done. I believe that it's going to prove out to be the right structural work for the business, and it will position us for long-term success.
I want to talk about that in a moment, but I see Jonathan Malapa will replace you as you leave this year. Why are you going?
So, Devin, as you can tell from my accent, I'm an American. I've worked around the world in a variety of different countries for Walmart. And part of my mandate whenever I come to a market is to begin to prepare succession and to find great local talent that can step into my role. And so the naming of Jonathan Malapo, who's our current Chief Operating Officer, as the CEO to succeed me on January 1, has really been part of a very well-planned process that's been going on for the last couple of years. We were interviewing Jonathan back in 2021. He joined us at the beginning of 2022, and we've been working side by side for the last 8 months. In addition, Jonathan's been doing a lot of training with the Walmart guys back in the United States, so gotten a strong dose of what Walmart is all about as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about this Walmart buyout of those minority shares. I'm trying to take a future look at Builders Warehouse, for example, Game. What's this going to do? You just said that you see a lot of potential here, a little bit of fixing here and there that may materialize as the months and years unfold. But what does this Walmart share buyout essentially do if it is successful to those stores?
That's a great question. So from a management perspective, as I think about it, where we are is at an important inflection point for the business. We've done a lot of structural work to get Massmart best positioned for the future. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that we talked about in terms of the economic impacts have taken their toll on us from a liquidity perspective. What's great about Walmart rather as a shareholder is that they bring tremendous financial resources, obviously tremendous operational and retail resources to bear. And if you think about the next several years for us, it's going to be about big investments in e-commerce, in building new stores, particularly in our builders and our macro space. And so what I'm particularly excited about is having those resources behind Massmart for the future. So I think fundamentally the bottom line is good for Massmart, and in a broader sense, I think really good for South Africa and a vote of confidence in this market.
Yeah, indeed it is. And as I let you go, it's interesting you mentioned e-commerce and resources there, because you've got the likes of takealot.com, you've got Amazon on its way. One wonders whether Massmart is prepared for those growing businesses in that realm. I mean, something Walmart should be thinking about, I would imagine.
Without a doubt. And, I think one of the other great things about having Walmart potentially be our owner in a private company sense is that Walmart has developed fantastic e-commerce businesses not only in the United States but around the world, and we certainly intend to fully leverage all of Walmart's expertise, and in fact have done so quite a bit over the last couple of years, bringing in help from the Walmart side, working very closely with the Walmart team. So we'll continue that going forward and perhaps even double and triple our efforts in that regard.
All right, so Mitchell Slape, outgoing MassSmart CEO, thanks very much indeed for talking to us this evening.